If Spanish has ever felt harder than it should, relax, relájate. In this video, you'll learn a simple system to start speaking from day one. Each section builds on the last, so just keep watching. You don't necessarily need more Spanish words to speak, but you do need sentence frameworks. You see, with just a few reusable sentence frameworks, you can start speaking Spanish confidently and immediately, even on day one. So today is your lucky day because I'm going to show you exactly how to use sentence frameworks to get you closer to fluency. Let's get into it. By the way, soy Profe Don Omar, and I've been teaching Spanish for over 25 years. And I see this problem all the time. Smart adults, hard workers, capable of holding conversations in Espanol, but they still end up freezing when it's time to speak. Not because Spanish is hard, it's just because the starting point was all wrong. So today, let's reset that starting point right now. So the first thing up, what is a sentence framework? Let me explain this in the most simplest way possible. A sentence framework is a sentence with a missing piece. Look at it like this. It's more like a fill-in-the-blank sentence. You don't make a brand new sentence every time you speak, you just replace one word. You're going to reuse the same sentence and change just one word. I'm telling you, once you see this in English, it makes Spanish that much easier. Now, here's the part that most people don't realize. You already speak this way in English. Don't believe me? Let me show you what I'm talking about. I want you to think about this character right here, Brick Tamlin from The Anchorman, The Legend of Ron Burgundy. If you remember in La Película, he says very simple sentences. But those simple sentences work. ¿Por qué? Because they are reusable. Here's the English sentence framework that Brick used in the movie, I love. Now watch what happens when I reuse it. I love rug. I love lamp. I love desk. Now, of course, this isn't the correct way to use that, but we're just using this as an example because it's going to show us how to do this in Espanol, con I like. Now watch what happens when I reuse it. Similar to Brick, I like rug. I like desk. I like music. I like football. I didn't plan. I didn't think. I just reused the sentence. Believe it or not, that's exactly what fluent speakers do, even when it sounds simple. But lock this in. Simple doesn't mean stupid. Simple means reusable. Now, let's take that same idea and move it into Spanish. Here's the Spanish version of the same sentence framework. Me encanta. Me encanta significa I love. Not like a person, but like a thing. Me encanta. Por ejemplo, me encanta la alfombra. Me encanta la alfombra. Me encanta la lámpara. Me encanta la lámpara. Me encanta el escritorio. Me encanta el escritorio. These are the same phrases that Brick used in the movie, but we're just switching them over into Espanol, the same reusable sentence frameworks. Same sentence, different word. Es todo. Eso es español. That's Spanish. Hey, real quick, if you're gaining value from today's video, be sure to like it, hype it, and share it with someone you know trying to become a better and more confident Spanish speaker. Now, let's get back to the rest of the video. So let me tell you why sentence frameworks work so well for adults. Most adults think their problem is vocabulary, but the real problem is this. They don't know what to do with the words that they already know. Sentence frameworks fix all that. They help you stop guessing, stop translating, and start speaking faster. In other words, sentence frameworks give your brain a path, a way out, and a true way to fluency. Let's try another reusable sentence framework usando I like. Por ejemplo, I like pizza. I like music. I like football. Muy fácil. Now, as we did before, let's take this same idea and move it into Espanol. Me gusta la pizza. Me gusta la pizza. Me gusta la música. Me gusta la música. Me gusta el fútbol americano. Me gusta el fútbol americano. Are you getting the hang of it? Bueno. Now check out these two sentence frameworks using I want to and I want. In English, I want to buy a cookie. I want to drink milk. I want milk and cookies. With me right there? Y ahora en español. Mira, quiero comprar una galleta. Quiero comprar una galleta. Quiero tomar o beber leche. Quiero tomar o beber leche. We can use tomar o beber. Depende de la región o el país. So you can use tomar o beber to say to drink. Otra vez. Por ejemplo, quiero tomar leche o quiero beber leche. Y también quiero leche y galletas. Quiero leche y galletas. Bueno, vamos a practicar juntos. We're going to practice together. Because your day one starts ahora mismo, I'm going to give you the English sentence framework and you give me the Spanish sentence framework. Let's try it out here. Aquí está la primera oración. I like coffee. En español, dime la oración. I like coffee. Exacto. Me gusta el café. Me gusta el café. La próxima. I like music. I like music. En español. Exacto, muy bien. Me gusta la música. Me gusta la música. What about I like classical music? Me gusta música clásica. Me gusta música clásica. Now, these next two sentences require an action. All right, you're doing something. Mira, I like to travel. Aquí está la palabra, viajar. I like to travel. Together, let's look at it. Me gusta viajar. Me gusta viajar. Y la próxima, I like to read. En español, la palabra de acción es leer. To read, leer. La oración en español, me gusta leer. Me gusta leer. Mira, that wasn't studying, that was speaking. Let's do a quick recap of what we covered so far. A sentence framework is a reusable sentence with a missing part. You reuse it instead of building from scratch. And remember when I said earlier, you already do this? You already reuse sentence frameworks in English. All we did today was move that same information into Spanish. But I do want to make something perfectly clear. Sentence frameworks won't make you fluent overnight, but they do remove fear, they remove confusion, and most importantly, they get you speaking Spanish now. Grammar still matters, just not on day one. Look at it like this. We want to build your confidence first and then develop your accuracy later. I always like to leave you with a Profe Power Tip, and today's Profe Power Tip is this. Fluency isn't built by learning more. Fluency is built by reusing what you already know. Frameworks first, everything else later. Now, coming up in the next video, I'm going to show you how to stack these same reusable sentence frameworks into full conversations. And after that, I'll show you how to turn them into questions. Now that you know you don't need new sentences, the next challenge is keeping the conversation going. Let's fix that. If you can say one sentence in Spanish, you already know enough to say three. The reason most adults stop after one sentence is simple. They don't know how to stack sentence frameworks. Let's get into it. In the last video, we talked about sentence frameworks. And if you're joining me for the first time, soy Profe Don Omar, and I've been teaching Spanish for over 25 years. And now I work with busy adults just like you who are committed to going from hola to full conversations in Espanol. Sentence frameworks are reusable sentences that fluent speakers rely on. And today we're doing the next step. We're connecting them. And I promise you, once you see this, conversations will not feel scary anymore. So what does stacking really mean? Well, first off, stacking doesn't mean longer sentences. I want to make that super clear. And it most definitely doesn't mean having to learn advanced grammar. Stacking just means saying simple sentences back to back. Basically, that's how real people talk. Let me show you with some simple examples. Check this out. Aquí está el primer paso. Here's the first step. We're going to start with the one sentence framework. Quiero una margarita. I want a margarita. Boom. First step accomplished, and most learners stop right there. Pero mira, now watch what happens when we add just one more sentence. Bueno, tenemos paso número dos. Presta atención. Quiero una margarita. Me gustan las margaritas. I want a margarita. I like margaritas. Nothing fancy happened. I didn't change the sentence. I simply added another framework. Quick teaching moment. Whenever you're referring to two or more items you like, always use me gustan. Siempre usa me gustan. If you're referring to just one specific item, use me gusta. If you want more on using me gusta and me gustan, I'll link it up in the video description below. Now, let's take it one step further. En paso número 3, vamos a repetir. In step number 3, we're going to repeat. Mira, tenemos quiero café, me gusta el café. Voy a tomar café. I want coffee. I like coffee. I'm going to drink coffee. No grammar charts, no sentence building. Let's do one more with a different idea. I want to make sure you have the hang of this. Necesito ayuda. Quiero ayuda, por favor. Voy a pedir ayuda. I need help. I want help, please. I'm going to ask for help. Notice what's happening. Each sentence is simple, but together they tell a clear story. Just stacking simple ideas. Now, what we want to do is move into what we would call a real-life mini conversation. Mira, quiero pizza. Me gusta la pizza. Voy a comer pizza. I want pizza. I like pizza. I'm going to eat pizza. That's not beginner Spanish. I call that usable Spanish. Here's another real-life example. Tengo hambre. Me gusta la comida aquí. Voy a comer ahora. Necesito un menú. I'm hungry. I like the food here. I'm going to eat now. I need a menu. Now, I added in an extra sentence for you to see how you can keep going. That's not one perfect sentence. That's a conversation. Fluent speakers don't wait for the perfect sentence. They keep the conversation moving. Now that you understand the concept of stacking, let's break down why stacking works so well for adults. Most adults freeze because they think they need to say the perfect sentence every single time they open their mouth. And quite honestly, I believe it has a lot to do with comparing your knowledge of your first language to Spanish. But check this out. Fluent speakers don't do that. We just keep talking. And stacking keeps you talking. And this is precisely where your confidence starts to grow. So let's jump into a quick recap. Stacking means short sentences said back to back using frameworks you already know. Recuerda esto. Remember this. You don't need longer sentences. You just need to get that momentum going. And just a little FYI for clarification, stacking does not mean speaking fast. It means not stopping. Pauses are perfectly okay. And of course, thinking is okay. But silence is what kills your confidence. So I always like to leave you with a Profe Power Tip. And today's Profe Power Tip is this. Fluency grows when sentences connect, not when they're perfect. Siempre recuerda, always remember, one sentence leads to the next. It's like walking, left foot, right foot. In the next video, I'll show you how to turn these same frameworks into questions. That's when conversations really start. And if today's lesson helped you, then hit that notification bell because you don't want to miss the final video in this series. So you can keep talking, but real conversations move forward with questions. Here's how to ask them using the same sentence. If this is clicking, you're exactly where you should be. Sigue. Just keep going. Most conversations don't end because you don't know Spanish. They end because you don't know how to ask the next question to maintain the flow. But the good news, you already know how to do this. And it's by using the same exact sentences. Let's get into it. In the first video of this series, we talked about what sentence frameworks are. In the second video of this series, we learned how to stack those same sentences to keep your conversation going. Y hoy vamos a aprender how to flip them to make questions. Now, if you missed the first two videos, no te preocupes. I'll link them up in the description below. But today, I want you to understand this. Questions are what turns sentences into conversations. So here's the thing. You don't need new sentences to ask questions in Spanish. You don't even have to build a new sentence. So what's the secret? You just reuse the same exact sentence you used in your statement. and flip how you say it. Vamos a mirar unos ejemplos to help you learn to flip your own statements into questions. That way you can keep your conversations going. Ok, primero tenemos la oración, ¿te gusta el café? ¿Te gusta el café? You like coffee. Ahora, escucha la pregunta. ¿Te gusta el café? ¿Te gusta el café? Did you catch that? Es muy fácil, ¿verdad? You use the same words, the same sentence, just a different way in which you say it. Check it out. Everything you're seeing here is the same method I use to build confidence first with adult clients. Aquí está el próximo ejemplo. Vas a comer. Vas a comer. You're going to eat. Y ahora la pregunta. ¿Vas a comer? ¿Vas a comer? ¿Escuchaste la diferencia? Now it means, are you going to eat? Nothing new was added. I just flipped the sentence. Hey, future Spanish speaker, quick question for you. Based on you watching this video right now, there's a strong chance you've tried to learn Spanish before. Maybe you studied Spanish, maybe you use apps, maybe you even took classes, but you're still not speaking Spanish with confidence. If your goal this year is to finally stop studying Spanish and start actually using it, I want to personally invite you to the Spanish Made Simple Challenge. This is a live 5-day experience with me hosted on my platform where I show you exactly how adults should be learning Spanish without memorizing endless rules or freezing up when it's time to speak. You also get access to a private community of motivated learners just like you. And I'll walk you step by step through a system that helps you think less, speak more, and build real confidence fast. By the end of the challenge, you'll have clear structure, repeatable phrases, and a real plan to keep progressing. Whether your goal is travel, family, work, or daily conversations. If that sounds like something you've been missing, go ahead and click the link below or scan the QR code on the screen to save your spot. And quick pro tip, once you're inside, make sure you upgrade to VIP because you'll get daily bonus Q&A time with me where I answer your personal questions and help you break through what's been holding you back. I'd love to work with you inside the challenge. Ahora, let's get back to the rest of the video. Now, what do I mean when I say flipped? I just turned it into a question. This sentence tells, that sentence asks. Same exact sentence, just a different job. Let's try another one. Necesitas ayuda. Necesitas ayuda. You need help. ¿Necesitas ayuda? ¿Necesitas ayuda? Do you need help? And that question works anywhere. Plus, it opens up conversations fast. Now, check out how we can create a real-life mini conversation. Escucha. Paco trabaja en el mercado. ¿En serio? ¿Paco trabaja en el mercado? Sí, lo vi allí el sábado pasado. That's not advanced Spanish. That's just a basic, real conversation. Ahora mira esta conversación. Imagine you're meeting someone for the first time. Mira. Hola. Hola. ¿Hablas español? Un poco. ¿Hablas español? Sí, hablo español. ¿Hablas español todos los días? Let's try one more to make sure you got this. Imagine you're talking to someone and learning about their habits. Mira. Hola. Hola. ¿Comes aquí? Claro que sí. ¿Comes aquí? Sí, como aquí. ¿Comes aquí todos los... Check this out. Here's why questions change everything and matter so much. When you ask a question, you don't have to carry the conversation. The other person helps you simply by responding to your question. It's just that easy. And that, mi amigo, takes pressure off of you. That's why fluent speakers sound relaxed. Bueno, let's recap what we covered here today. To ask questions in Espanol, reuse the same sentence, raise your voice at the end, which is what we call intonation, and don't overthink it. Use the same sentence frameworks with a new purpose. Ahora, let's look at some popular questions you may have after today's lesson. Pregunta número uno. What if my tone isn't perfect? It doesn't matter. People understand intention, not perfection. Questions don't have to sound perfect to work. People will pick it up every single time. Question number two. Am I really speaking Spanish if it's this simple? Absolutamente. Fluency doesn't start with complexity. It starts first with clarity. Pregunta número 3. Do I need question words yet? No. You can ask dozens of questions before learning words like what or who or why. Right now, flipping the sentence is all that you really need. This is a perfect place to start for the sake of simplicity. I always like to leave you with a Profe Power Tip, and today's Profe Power Tip is this. Confidence doesn't come from knowing more Spanish. It comes from asking better questions. Here's the thing. Most people think the next step is to move forward. However, the smartest move ahora mismo, right now, is actually to go back and review. If stacking sentences still feels shaky to you, mastering these 3 steps is where confidence starts. Soy Profe Don Omar, your guide on how to speak Spanish now. Nos vemos.